very proud to endorse Bo Dietl. Not only is he from Queens, but we happen to be from the same neighborhood. I was on board, the same neighborhood that I now have the pleasure of representing on the city council. There are a lot of people in this city that believe that this year's election is basically a formality and that Mayor de Blasio is going to just waltz back into office and get a second term. There are many other people in the city that believe that the Republican nomination is all but sewed up and that there won't be a primary, that there should not be a primary for mayor this year from the Republican Party. I disagree 100% with both of those sentiments. I absolutely believe that Bill de Blasio can be beat this year, and I think the only person who can beat him that's currently in the race for mayor is Bo Dietl, and that's why I'm supporting him. I think right now, New Yorkers want a mayor who wants to be a mayor for all New Yorkers. Not just the people that he agrees with, not just the people that voted for him, not just the people that put him in office. And what the city needs right now is a mayor for the whole city, for all 5 boroughs, and for all New Yorkers. We also need a mayor who's concerned with the people's interests, not the special interests. We need a mayor who actually wants to be mayor and not raise his national profile or national political image by traveling around the country and raising money in every other city except New York. And so a lot of people have asked me, why are you endorsing Bo Dietl? And I've asked them, why shouldn't I endorse Bo Dietl? He's a real New Yorker who speaks his mind, who's not afraid to take the fight to the steps of City Hall, and I believe that he will give Bill de Blasio a run for his money, and if given the opportunity to run on the Republican line along with some other parties, I do think that he could put together a broad coalition of support that would be required to win a race such as this. And so there are lots of wonderful qualities about the other candidates who are also running for mayor, but I think that Bo Dietl is head and shoulders above the rest of them, and I'm proud to support him, and I'm proud to endorse him today. Regardless of what you're going to hear from the other candidates and what you're going to hear from the man on this side of City Hall, this election is not going to be a referendum on Donald Trump. And Bo Dietl is not Donald Trump. He's an independent, he's his own man, and he speaks his own mind. And I think he's not shy about expressing himself or sharing his opinions. This election is a referendum on Bill de Blasio, not Donald Trump. On Bill de Blasio's failed leadership, on his mismanagement of almost every city agency, and on his inattention to the day-to-day affairs of running the city and actually serving as mayor and being a good mayor. And so I think Bo Dietl would make a fantastic mayor. And I think that out of all the Republicans or people that want to run on the Republican line, he's the best we've got. And so I'm urging all of the county leaders, the district leaders, the party officials, the elected officials, all of the stakeholders in the Republican Party in New York City to take a good look at this man's candidacy and give him the opportunity to run in the Republican primary, because if he's our guy, I think he can raise a lot of money. I think he has a very powerful voice. I think he speaks for a lot of people that feel that the mayor de Blasio is ignoring them right now, and I think he can win, and that's why I'm supporting him, and I'm proud to endorse him today.
Well, thank you, Eric. I'm very honored for your endorsement, and I think I have one of the most important Republicans in New York City, if not the most important Republican that support me. We all know about what happened to me in the beginning. Back in August, I applied to run as a Democrat. Mysteriously, I wanted to run as a moderate conservative Democrat. I've been a lifelong Republican my whole life. I feel like I have Republican blood. In New York City, I wanted to be the mayor to all people, and I thought the best way of going was to become a moderate conservative Democrat, so I would appeal to people. But I'm appealing today as an independent, and also now I'm reaching out for the Wilson-Pakula and the Republican line, the conservative line, the reform line, and also the independence line. And the main line that I want to run is anyone but Bill de Blasio line on a special line. My whole reason for being here today is one thing: to let people know in New York City. A lot of people don't know my background. I was a New York City homicide detective. I was one of the original decoys in the 70s when we had a scourge of violence, robberies, murders, and all that. I volunteered to be a decoy where I was mugged 500 times. I was hospitalized I was hospitalized 30 times, fractured skull, I broke my shoulder, and many other injuries. I was stabbed and shot. I never used any kind of mortal force against anyone. I lived my whole life as a New York City cop and detective. I respected the people I arrested, and I gave them the right shot. Now, as far as running business for the last 32 years, I run a business with a lot of minorities. The majority of my employees are minorities, 98% of them. I know the plight when they can't afford to go on the MTA. I know the problems of affordable housing in this city. 32 years I've been running a business, and yes, I gave my most current tax returns. I am not Donald Trump, and anyone that compares me, I really feel hurt in my heart. I'm a grandfather in New York. I care about everyone. And there was a couple of little things I put together, a couple of points. I really want to stay on point here. And you know, he's a millennial. Is that the word, millennial? And it's great that we have support because New York has a lot of young people, Hispanic, Black. Everybody's here in New York City. We need a representative that represents the young people of New York because they are the future. I look forward to working with you as mayor, and I really warmly welcome you. And after I become the mayor for 4 years, I'd like you to consider it because you know this city, and I'd like you to help me when I become mayor running this city. He's a corrupt failure, this mayor of ours. The fact is, no one has said a word about him returning this $4.3 million illegal campaign contributions. I sent the letter to Governor Cuomo, Schneiderman. I sent the letter. Why doesn't he have to return? That means if we go do a bank job now and we get locked up, I get to keep the $4.3 million. This is money that he was given by special interests, and that's all he represents, special interests. The union heads are standing there. I don't want the union heads. I want the union people. I want to be the mayor. We had a little boy, 3-month-old boy, who was beat up and killed the other day. You know, it's the same as Amir Perkins, another little boy. I see his face all the time. I care. I cry when I look at these little kids in the paper. I'm a grandfather now, and the ACS is a disgrace. They don't investigate it properly. I had the answer, and I have the answer right out. We have all these great policemen retiring at 42, 45 years old. We'll bring them into ACS, let them straighten it out. You know what I get? Oh, the ACS workers are upset they can't go into the projects, they're afraid. Well, if you're afraid, you shouldn't be doing the damn job. I don't want one more dead child in this city. When you get a complaint, it is the responsibility of the ACS. You know, we got, well, here's the big one. He has all these statistics, all these crime statistics. Crime is down. I talked to the head of the corrections. We had a news conference. The head of the correction said 18, 19, 20-year-olds, they can't segregate. If they stab another prisoner or if they stab a guard, we've got to clean up what's in Rikers Island rather than talking about moving it. Let's clean it because you're just going to move the same circumstance to a borough. Let's fix Rikers Island. Let's fix what we have to do with correction officers and train them properly, and let's treat prisoners the way they should be treated, with respect, and let the correction officers get the respect back and forth. I worked on the street. I know about the gangs on the street. That's
what kind of conservative supports $250,000 per bed per year on a torture island? Well, I don't get it. Even if you want smaller government, corrections is the place to go.
I'll answer your question if you let me finish, please. Thank you. My point is that we have now Rikers Island, that's on Rikers Island there now. We got to fix it from within. By moving it, it's not going to do anything. We have to fix it because you'll just move the same circles.
I don't think you know enough about Rikers to say that. You should read the Lippman report.
All right. My problem again is the property taxes in New York. You got a mayor now that has 2 houses worth $1.5 million each. He pays $3,000. He has $3,000.
It's about people suffering
and you're worrying about the poor.
Okay, and it's also about the opiate epidemic that we have in Staten Island and all over this city. You could buy heroin for $3 a bag, and the opiates are out there right now. People are suffering from this. These are the real things that are happening. We have a mayor right now that sits in this building now. He gets here after noon anyway, and he's a lazy mayor. He's not out for all the people. What this gentleman was talking about with Rikers, it's very easy for solutions. Let's shut down Rikers. Let's find out what the problem is and fix the damn problem. That's what it's about. If correction officers are not doing the right job, let's retrain them. Let's have segregation. If you have someone stabbing a guard, someone stabbing another inmate, there's always a thing called compromise. But to take a paintbrush and think it's all going to go away, so you're going to take the problem, you'll move it to a different location. These are instances that people have to realize. Compromise is so important. The problems with the homelessness. I talk to people, crime's down. Yeah, crime's down, but people have fear. To me, fear is crime. Again, the statistics. Here's the statistics I got from the head of the Union for School Safety. They are told, here's your statistics, Mayor de Blasio, any drugs coming into the school should be flushed down the toilet. The police should not be called. Any weapon should be confiscated. The police should not be called. Maybe at de Blasio, maybe that's why the crime statistics are down, because you're playing with these crime statistics. I'm here and I'm real adamant about running. I'm running for the people of New York. I am not going to answer to any party bosses. I'm not going to answer to any union leaders. I'm going to answer to the people of New York City. And anyone is welcome to go up to East Harlem when we had the Savage Skulls, the Seven Immortals, gangs that were terrorizing the Puerto Rican community. My partner Tom Collar and I used to hide in the back of the store, and when those gang members came in there, we came out. Put it this way, the gang members didn't come back ever again. And again, I'd like to reiterate, I've never used lethal force on any one of my prisoners that I arrested for mass murders, for different types of murders. I use reasonable force on everyone, and that's what it's all about. It's about understanding what you have to do on the street. And respect goes both ways. The police must respect the community, and the community must respect the police. And I really feel as though this one most important thing, there is a candidate that is not a politician. I don't stand here as a politician. I stand here as a grandfather. I spilled my blood for the streets of New York City. I've been running a business 32 years. I know what it is to balance budgets, and in reality, we do have a choice. Let's stop the nonsense with the same old politician. First of all, de Blasio, what he wants to get elected. He'll tell he was in Staten Island. I was yelling at him. I said, why don't you tell him they're going to put a monorail from New York to Staten Island? You're telling them everything else. He'll promise anybody anything. I want the people. I'm going to Dominican Republic. I love Dominican. I love Puerto Rican. I love black. I'll go and do anything. I'll come anywhere for anybody to let you see I want to be your mayor. I don't want to just be a mayor to a party. I want to be a mayor to the people of New York City. I'm sorry I get very heated up about this, but in reality, I care. I cry. Jameer Perkins, that little boy's face pops up, and damn you, ACS, for not doing your job, and that little boy, that 3-month-old boy in the Bronx, dead. Let's think about it right now. This guy over here just stands up there, he's like a robot. I'd like to cut him open to see if he has a heart. I don't think the man has a heart. I don't ever seen a man ever cry. The only time he cried when he was 2 hours late to Rockaway with the memorial for the plane crash. Then he cried because he was late. Maybe because he doesn't get his butt going until 12 noon. I'm really running. I want to appeal to all the people of New York City. Please, I want to be your mayor. I want to be the mayor of New York that cares about everybody. I have a heart. I have a soul. I'm 66 years old. I want to be a mayor that everyone can pat on my back and say, Mr. Mayor, you're doing the right thing for everyone. But there's always compromise. There's no one direction. We have to weigh out everything. Anybody have any questions?
What really qualifies you to be mayor? I mean, you talked before about how one of the things that has caught you up this year is that you made a mistake in your voter registration form. There are lots of details you need to know when you're running for mayor.
Right.
What qualifies you?
Well, here was the mistake. I always wanted to run as an independent too. So I checked Democrat and I checked independent. All of a sudden, from the Board of Elections says, oh, this mistake has been made. Just fill this out, get it notarized, you'll be on the Democratic Party. I went away for Christmas holiday, I get back, they go, no. I went to Supreme Court. He had 3 lawyers in there, and the judge wouldn't even hear my defense and said, oh no, you're off the party. You're a man of no party. This is the problem as far as with politics. I made a mistake. It wasn't really a mistake because I wanted to run as a Democrat and let the independent people vote for me too. All right, you want a politician that has 15 lawyers that tells them what to say, what to do? I'm a real person. I'm running as the mayor. What qualifies me? My blood was was spilt on the city. I've been stabbed, I've been shot at, I've been hit in the head with baseball bats when I was a competent detective. Then I run a business. I see the plight of people not able to afford things. That's what qualifies me. Being a grandfather and a native New Yorker, I'm from New York. I'm not like de Blasio and like some other people that are not. I was born here and I'll die in New York, and I love this city. I have a grandson that lives in this city. What qualifies me? My heart qualifies me, because I care. And I'll get the best people around me to help me. I won't be putting people in like ACS, the homeless. It's like he must be, I don't know where he gets his brain power from, how he puts these people in, and then he keeps them in there, and he's not a good CEO. Get the best people around you. That's what my model's going to be.
You have putting suspects in
chokeholds. No, it's not chokehold. Excuse me. No, that was not a chokehold, son. That is a headlock that I spoke about, and I've used it dozens of times, and my prisoners never died. So let's not call it chokehold. I know what a headlock is, okay? That's what I spoke about, and I'm the only one that's not going to stand here and be a robot, because I've done it. None of my prisoners died, okay? That's what I said. No, what you should do is, son, I'll tell you what, if I got a 6'5" guy, you and I go to arrest him, and he's swinging at you, what should you do, son? Shoot him? No, you should grab him, get him down to the ground, and handcuff him if you place him on arrest. You don't understand. You haven't walked the walk. People who have never walked the walk can talk all they want about it, but people who've done it, that's the person I want to listen to, people from experience. No, but you know what? We have to have more non-lethal ways of arresting people. I'm for developing more non-lethal ways of arresting people. I'm not for a cop to pull out their gun and their only alternative to shoot. No, I'm not for that. But there are less lethal ways of getting someone down. And in reality, again, a headlock is not a chokehold. You know what a chokehold is, son? There's an Officer Baez in the Bronx that put his nightstick on that man and choked him to death. And you know where Officer Baez is? In jail, where he should be. He choked him to death. That's not what I was talking about, okay? Yes, sir.
What would you do differently to address the homeless?
Well, by putting a Band-Aid on and putting them in hotels for $600 a night, that's not doing anything. He talked about building permanent affordable housing. Remember, we got 24,000 kids that are homeless. We got homeless people that want to work and all that. We have to, that should be one of our big priorities. Also, the mentally ill that are out there, we can see in Penn Station, we see on the subway train. When I ask people about how do you feel, I feel scared. Young ladies coming to and from work feel fear factor when they have a homeless guy. They don't know if he has a knife in that. That has to be dealt with. By keeping them out there, not helping them, is not helping the situation. Come by Mayo over here wants everybody to get along. Oh, happy days. That's not the answer. The answer is we've got to help these people get in the right direction.
Candidate Bo.
I would build permanent affordable housing.
Candidate Bo, you said that, I'm glad you said that a policeman who uses his baton to choke someone to death should be held accountable.
Absolutely.
What about Officer Pantaleo, who killed Eric Garner with a chokehold? This is what the mayor is actually allowing to happen right here. You say you don't want to be like the mayor, so what would you do in the case of Officer Pantaleo? Would you hold him accountable?
You know what you got here? You got someone who's going to answer the question, okay? I've done exactly that. That is not a chokehold, it's a headlock, son. I've used it dozens of times, and thank God, nobody died.
Would you fire Officer Pantaleo? That's the question.
You think that Pantaleo woke up that morning and said, I'm going to go kill somebody today?
Would you fire Officer Pantaleo, Candidate Bo?
I look at the circumstances and I'll make a decision. I would not fire Officer Pantaleo. There was no intention to kill that man.
We've talked about this topic frequently. Wilson McCool, you have a very practical problem that you're not yet eligible to run in the Republican primary. So can you tell us the status of your effort at getting a Wilson McCool, and for the council member, whether he's part of that effort in Queens?
Well, I'm meeting with party leaders from the Republican, conservative parties all over the city, and I continually meet with them. And they've come to me, a couple of party leaders said, look, these other candidates can't win, Bo. You're the only one that has the heart, the energy, and the soul to be mayor of New York City and beat de Blasio. See, I'm not standing here as Mr. Republican conservative. I'm standing here as a grandfather, a person that's spilled his blood for this city, a person that cares about Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals, anyone. I'm very socially inclusive to everyone. I want everyone to have their rights of what they believe in. That's why I'm running for mayor. And the Wilson Pakula is a way of them giving me the line. I'm very honored that the Republican Party and the Conservative Party have reached out to me, and I look forward to getting it.
Have any of them committed to supporting you getting Wilson? How many?
I can't say that right now. I think what's important is that the narrative that some folks in the media have been pushing that that the Republican nomination is sewed up is really false. It's fake news. It's not true. And the reality is that this is very much a wide open race. And if there's going to be a primary anyway, we heard reports the other day that Assemblywoman Malley-Takis from Staten Island might jump in. There might be one or two other people jumping in. Reverend Faulkner is already a declared candidate. Paul Massey is certainly a declared candidate. If there's going to be a primary anyway, the rationale to the county leaders and the district leaders, who are really the ones that make that decision, would be, if we're having a primary anyway, why wouldn't you let Bo Dietl run in the primary when he has so much support in Republican circles and in Republican parts of the city?
So which party leaders in fact are supporting?
They're having a meeting this Wednesday, and he'll be meeting with all the parties.
You know what I think?
I also just wanted to ask you to speak to what you would do to change the property tax.
Okay, then probably just hold that. I want everyone to understand something. When I was asked a question by this gentleman about the Office of Pantalano thing, it's a different answer than you would get from a politician. It's a truthful answer. When you asked me whether that officer should be arrested or not, I gave you my truthful opinion from my own experience. And I watched the video like everyone else watched. My problem is you have too many lying politicians, not Eric, but who's in there, who will stand there and lie, oh yeah, hang Officer Pantalano. Just think about what I said. If you think that officer got that dressed that morning and said, oh, today I'm going to kill somebody and choke them to death, that's not what happened. Let's be real about it, whether it be a black officer, white officer. Let's see the intention when he was bringing them down, what it was all about. Now, taxes.
What would you do to overcome the property taxes?
Well, first of all, I think there's a lot of hidden money in New York City. Just listening to Mayor de Blasio, where he pays $3,000 for his $1.5 million house, one, and his other $1.5 million house, $3,000. We have to assess and we have to look at comps around the neighborhood, what the last sale was for the last 12 months, and let's reevaluate the property taxes as far as let us all pay the same amount. Whatever it's going to be, it's got to be equal, not just for the rich people or the poor people. It's got to be a balance. That's very, very important to me, and it's a thing called comps. You look at what the houses are going for a comparable house, and you see what they're selling for, and then there'd be no problem with that. And I know my other friends on one side are going to say, oh, he's going to raise taxes. I'm not for raising taxes. I'm for paying proper taxes for everyone across the board.
But what's your position on the plastic bag fee, the half fare for low-income residents, and the idea of taxing the rich to fund senior housing?
Start it first.
Sure. The plastic bag fee, a fee on disposable plastic bags.
Well, I'm very much greener. I got my backing from that guy Leonardo DiCaprio is one of my dear friends, and I'm for the. I have no problem with the plastic bag fee. And I tell you what, I got a Stop and Shop. They give these nice bags you buy for 10 cents. You reuse them. What's wrong with that? I'm for reusing bags. If that's a big deal, you know what? I do it myself.
And then using city money to fund transit fares for low-income New Yorkers?
Well, that's one of the things. We subsidize everything else. If people are making under $30,000 a year, which a lot of my employees, security guards make, I'd like to subsidize transit fare. And you want to know something? Instead of using money on wasteful things, that's an important thing. When people are working, we must keep them working. We got to reward them for working and not just make them come out of the workplace. And if we get them on unemployment, we get them on welfare, we're good.
And then taxing the rich in order to fund development for senior housing?
I'm not for attacking anyone. I'm for making people pay their fair amount of taxes. And it's not a thing of taxing because you become successful. I mean, when people saw that I made $1.8 million and paid $560,000 in taxes, all of a sudden the article about Bo is another Donald Trump. I'm not another Donald Trump. I'm Bo Dietl. I've spilt my blood. I'm a grandfather here in New York. I'm not a billionaire. And you want to know something? I'm praying to God that President Trump does the right thing in Washington. And also, we got an antagonistic mayor here that doesn't want to get along with Donald Trump. Let's face it, for the next 4 years, we got one thing. We got a guy named President Trump. And I'll go on my knees if I have to. And I'll say, Donald, New York needs you. We need money for the police. We need money for affordable housing. Brooklyn Bridge is falling. We need infrastructure. And you want to know something?
Nothing can get along with the governor.
And then the governor, I would say the governor, Section 8, I'm for Section 8 housing. I'm for Section 8 housing. This mayor can't do it because he can't even talk to the governor. He can't talk to the president. This guy's, say goodbye to him.
City voters are going to elect someone that would rather go on their knees to the president rather than stand up.
My point is, it's a verb. You're going to print it. You're like the Statue of Liberty thing. Not on my knees, but I'm saying I'll go to President Trump and I would say, you love this city, your whole life has been this city, let's help New York City. We were the target. Son, I don't know where you were. 9/11, I was down here with these towers. I stayed there for days down there when those towers came down. We are a target, we will be a target, and we will be attacked in New York. And the federal government, instead of sending it to Omaha, Nebraska, should be giving big funds to our police, and we should raise the salary of these cops out here that you want them to be the best in the world, you pay him the lowest in the world, and now he only gave him a raise. One reason, it's election time.
You obviously have a lot to say on the campaign.
Yeah.
Boil down your campaign for us. Can you put it on a bumper sticker? What is your succinct message?
Very simple. Dump de Blasio. Anybody but de Blasio. Or if you want to use my old verbiage, I said I wasn't going to say anymore, no more Big Bird. People will get it.
And what is your relationship with President Trump? Do you have a personal relationship?
I'll be very honest with you. I haven't talked to him since he got elected, so I don't have that real good relationship like people want to believe. I really believe that we should work with him. He's got his hands on a lot of money there in Washington, and again, not on my knees, pal, all right? But I would go to Washington. I would go to Washington. It's a what do you call that? Metaphor. Figure speech, metaphor, not on my knees. Okay, so, because I know it's going to come out. Paul would go on his knees to Donald Trump. I mean, what was the last one about the gracious Statue of Liberty? And that was the old misquote crap. Fact is, I would try to work with the president, and I certainly would look forward to working with the governor. I happen to know Mario. Mario was one of my dear friends, and I love his wife, and I was at the funeral for our great Jimmy Breslin. I love this governor, and you don't want to know something? If I say I love this president, that's going to be a headline, but I'll work with our
Two more questions.
Bo, do you think...
Well, a lot of money to Democrats.
Well, how about, yeah, he's given tremendous amounts of money to Democrats, and also Eitan Sugarman, who's one of the owners of the location. We're having it at the Hunt Fish Club over on 44th Street, and not just Scaramucci, it's Eitan Sugarman. There's a lot of, and I've given a lot of money to Democrats also. I mean, this is the problem. We have Democrat, we have Republican. Why don't we have a mayor that wears the badge of the people? The people are what I care about. I don't care about Democrat, Republican. I care about people. And you want to know something? Those issues cross-spread either way, because we all have the same idea. We want to get the best, and we want to do the best job we can. And most of all, we want safety, security, and our kids in this city shouldn't be dying the way they're dying. We have a real bad problem with that ACS, and I'm sorry I'm talking about it, but that 3-month-old little baby that died, I feel it. I feel it. They had 2 calls to ACS, and they dropped the ball again. And I don't want it ever to be the drop, because I will fire the head on down. We've got to follow up on these things. No more dead kids in my city, please.
Two more.
Mayor de Blasio always talks about there's no room for hate in the city, there's no room for anti-Semitism. Yeah, there's a guy running for council making anti-Semitic remarks on Twitter. He's been pictured with Mayor de Blasio. Mayor de Blasio refuses to denounce that person.
Well,
yeah, he said Jewish landlords.
Yeah, he says that greedy, that there's Jews.
Let me give you a little
terrible
Let me give you a little background. I thought I wouldn't have to do it, but I did that test where you spit the test tube, right? I got 2% Jew, 2% African. I got 8% Middle Eastern. I got everything in me. I'm part black, I'm part Middle Eastern. My grandson's Jewish, my kids are Jewish. I married a Jewish girl. I guess I'm not an anti-Semite, okay? So, I mean, anybody that talks about, first of all, The Jewish vote to me is very, very important for the fact the Jewish vote, the people come out and vote. They take their responsibility really personal. I'm reaching out to the whole, the conservative, the liberals. I need the Jewish vote. I need the Dominican, the Puerto Rican, the black, the Muslim. I need everybody. I want everybody to say, you know what? I like that guy, Bo. He tells the truth. Man, he's not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to say anything. Damn it, I'll get up before noon. That this guy gets himself going around noon. He has to go to Brooklyn first.
But the point is, are you surprised that Mayor de Blasio does not denounce anti-Semitism?
I'm not surprised at anything with Mayor de Blasio. Let's remember where he vacationed most of the times in his life. Nicaragua with the Sandinistas, with Fidel Castro. He's got a different wavelength, and he doesn't like the New York Yankees. He's a Red Sox fan. How the hell are you the man?
Last question. You said you'd work with President Trump. Do you want the city to enforce federal immigration policies?
Good question. Federal immigration policy, he said. My thing is this. People who are born in America, even if you're illegal, if you have children, your kids are American citizens. That's our law, that's our Constitution. My thing is, I am not for removing a breadwinner if they do not do something that is of a criminal nature. If you do something of a criminal nature, you're in this MS-13 gangs. I'll be damned when they're letting them out of Rikers Island, MS-13 gang member, and then they get rid of ICE. My point is, let's see if the person is legally here or illegal. If they're illegally here, I'm not for rounding up people. But if you're a criminal and you're committing felonies, bye-bye, you're out of the city. And you want to know something? The majority of the people in New York City fighting for those jobs would feel the same way.
So you're saying you'd cooperate with federal immigration
I said
officials?
For criminals.
But
I would talk to Donald Trump again and say, Mr. President, I am not going to round up people that are working hard here and have children in the United States. What I will do, Mr. President, I promise you, if they're illegal in this country and they're committing felonies, Mr. President, I'll hand them over to you. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your endorsement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anytime. Thank you.